Hello everyone, this is your main man Keith Fustus here from Keith Plays PS4 927. Happy Tuesday evening to all my viewers on this awesome channel. Today we are starting Season 2 of Madden NFL 21. For Season 2 we're going to do division rivalries, like for example, like we just have you see here on the screen, the Minnesota Vikings against the Chicago Bears. They're a well-known one. Cincinnati Bengals against the Baltimore Ravens are another example. The Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Dallas Cowboys against the Washington Redskins /football team. I know they just recently got rid of the Redskins a couple months ago. Let's see, Giant Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Giants. They're a rivalry. The Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. They're a rivalry. Jets and Patriots are rivals too, but there are also some non-division rivals like the Dallas Cowboys against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots against the Indianapolis Colts. So without a further ado, we'll see you guys at the 312 in Soldier Field. Alright, now we are at Soldier Field, the oldest stadium in this league here. Opened and constructed around 1924, as we see both the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings come out of the tunnel to battle each other off to see who will win today's episode. And what is your question? And question here is, who do you guys want to see win today? Minnesota or Chicago?
Trubisky and the Chicago Bears versus Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings.
Alright, now we are ready to return the kickoff, as the Vikings will kick off to team up with former Vikings kickoff and punt returner Cordell Patterson, who he got drafted by the team in 2013 and left there sometime around 2016 and then went to Oakland in 2017. And I think he's been on the Bears for at least a season or two now. So we are down at the 30-yard line with Mitchell Trubisky as he passes it off to Allen Robinson. And the Bears will get stopped down at the 29-yard line. A 41-yard reception there. So this will still be 1st and 10 from the 29 here in Chicago. Alright, now you see the spin move there by Tarik Cohen. He gets it down right around the 13-yard line. And that will be a 1st down and 10 for the Chicago Bears offense. So now Tarik Cohen will get stopped at the 16-yard line. So this is 2nd and 12 now from the 16-yard line, as we got the 1st down earlier. And I'm thinking Allen Robinson is pretty shy to the end zone, 1 yard shy. So I'm thinking we're going to have to do a passing play. And Allen Robinson, the Penn State product, gets it in. Touchdown Bears, as they play duck duck goose there to score the first points of the new season, as the Bears score 7-0 here in Chicago. Okay, now it is 1st down and 10 now from the 29. Kirk Cousins steps onto the field for the first time in this episode, as we see Dalvin Cook makes his first carry of the game, gets stopped for like 2 yards there. So it's now 2nd and 9 now from the 31 here. Oh, and that's an interception, believed to have been Tashawn Gibson Sr. And that will be the first interception of the new season here, as well as the first turnover of for this Vikings offense. Now Tarik Cohen, he's going to run it, Gets down at the 22 there, 3 rushes and 23 yards that time. So it's 2nd and inches now. All right, now he's going to run it. Come on, get it in, get it in, get it in. And he jumps on in. Touchdown, Bears, as it's his first rushing touchdown of the game for this Chicago Bears offense. The other one was made by Allen Robinson II as he jumps on in to the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. Danny Trevathan made the fumble recovery, as you guys will see here on this play coming up shortly. It was just a kickoff return as they lose the ball. All right, Amir Abdullah gets knocked out, and Danny Trevathan recovers the fumble, and this will be Minnesota's 2nd turnover of this game right here. And they are down at the 27-yard line, this Chicago Bears offense, as they will get stopped there by the Minnesota Vikings defense. They were in the 1970s when they made the Super Bowls. Their defense was called the Purple People Eaters, as we see Ted Ginn, the Ohio State product. And we're going to take a timeout here as we see downtown Chicago. You really don't see the Willis Tower near Soldier Field, because Soldier Field is like pretty close to Lake Michigan, and the Bears will score their 3rd touchdown of the game, and it's Ted Ginn Jr., who has been in this league since 2007, drafted by the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins were 1-15 his rookie season when New England went 16-0. So they make it into the end zone, and that will be a touchdown for the Chicago Bears. Here comes the booth review here, as they say the receiver did have possession. As I see here, his feet were in the end zone, so he just jumped. The ball was there too, so they're just going to call it a touchdown, I guess. And it's now going to be 21-0 here in Chicago at Soldier Field. All right, we are here at Chicago in the 3-1-2 hometown of Derrick Rose, the NBA player who used to play for the Chicago Bulls, who now plays for the Detroit Pistons, one of my favorite NBA teams. So, 2nd quarter has just begun. Kirk Cousins, the Michigan State product, makes an incomplete pass there. He is 1 for 3 on the day here. And it's 2nd down and 10 from the 47, as we got the Florida State product, Dalvin Cook. But there is a flag on the play, and it's a holding call. I think it was on Garrett Bradbury, and we are going to decline because they get 3rd down. Usually I like to decline on these types of penalties because, well, they get 3rd down and it's more chances for us to be on offense. And that is an incomplete pass there. So this will be 4th down. All right, now we got the punt unit. And we got some Trevor Davis, the wide receiver, he will be our returner for today's game. Unfortunately, this will be out of bounds down at the 7. So we have to move the chains here and get many first downs as we can. So now, all right, now David Montgomery will run this out. He will gain 13 yards down at the 20-yard line. So this will be a 1st down and 10 now for the Chicago Bears offense. So they got 59 rushing yards, and he gets sacked by Shamar Stephen. So it's 2nd and 17 now from the 13-yard line here in Chicago, as we see Mitchell Trubisky. He will run this out. He will not be stopped, and he unfortunately will. He gains 31 yards there. 1st and 10 now from the 44-yard line. And Ted Ginn makes a reception. And here comes a 2-minute warning here as we are down at the 33. 1st and 10 now from the 33. Back to pass. Trubisky gets a completed one. 7 for 7, 128 yards there. So, all right, now we got Allen Robinson gets it in for the touchdown. And the second quarter is almost over as the wheels on the bus are going round and round for the Chicago Bears offense. So they just make it in the end zone. Touchdown. Bears, it's now 28-0 here in Chicago. Vikings score the first touchdown of the game with Dalvin Cook, the Florida State product. He just runs it into the end zone, handed off by Kirk Cousins, and he runs it in. Touchdown, Vikings, as it will now be 28-7 here in Chicago. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are ready to return here with some Cordell Patterson, the former Minnesota Viking here. I think he wore number 84 with Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. That was also Randy Moss's number when he played in Minnesota. By the way, too, just keep that in mind. All right, now we're down to the 30 here, as Tariq Cohen will get stopped at the 35. 6 rushes and 50 yards and a TD. And this will end the first half as the Bears are leading 28-7 here in the 312 in Chicago, America's 3rd largest city and the Windy City. So we will see you guys at the second half. All right, now we are ready to kick off. First half just went really quick despite being the new season here. It's season 2 now, episode 1. So next up, and Dalvin Cook is just going to run this out, who just recently scored the touchdown in the league, one of the league's best running backs. I like James Conner as one of them, Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley. Christian McCaffrey I also like. All right, now he gets stopped at the 21 there, as it's now 2nd and 6 here in the 312 in Chicago. All right, now he will get stopped at the 26 there. So it's 3rd and 1. So they got 1 yard in to make that first down line. And he's throwing this time. And he passes it to Kyle Rudolph. And he will get stopped at the 40-yard line, as it will be 1st and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings offense. So they're down at the 40. Here now, Dalvin. We get the fumble. I think it is Roquan Smith that recovers the fumble. 1 fumble recovery there, and this will, I think, be Minnesota's 3rd turnover of this game, if I am. And it's been, as you guys saw, this is Minnesota's 3rd turnover of the game, as we are down at the 18 here. So we will see you guys. Well, all right, now we're going to use we're in the red zone here. All right, now I'm possibly thinking of doing, I'm going to sub out here, and I'm going to use Roquan Smith, who just recently recovered the fumble, as our tight end. As it's still 1st and 10 now, I'm still going to use some Mitch Trubisky, and I'm going to take a timeout here. All right, now we're going to use the PA seam here And hopefully I can get a Roquan Smith can get a reception. Can he make it in? They're going to say no, but they were close from having the ball there. And again, oh jeez. Oh well, we're just going to have to go with it on fourth down here. We're going to have to make a fourth down conversion. If this don't work, then the Vikings are down at their own end zone here, and we don't. Oh, okay, the Minnesota Vikings got out of the end zone there as he ran out of bounds in his own end zone, so you know what that means. Bears get a 2-point safety as we will return the free kick at the 20 as we will get stopped at the 27. All right, Mitch Trubisky steps onto the field again as we are down at the 27-yard line, and it's the third quarter already. Tariq Cohen, he will get stopped at the 46. There's 7 rushes and 69 yards. He has at least 31 more to get a 100-yard day by this punt returner. So gain of 5. I mean, not bad. As he will get stopped at the 31 here. So Chicago has 159 total rushing yards, respectively. It's not just Cohen himself, it's also David Montgomery. And as we see Trubisky, will he get it in? Yes, he will, to the first down line. The officials are going to say yes. So it's the end of the third quarter here in this game. So the Bears are leading by 23 points. I mean, usually in these rivalries, the Vikings score at least 10 points, and then the Bears end up winning in Chicago. So we got 21, 7, and 2. The 2 came from that safety we just scored with Kirk Cousins getting out of his own end zone. So just keep that in mind. All right, now we got Trubisky. He will get stopped at the 8-yard line. 5 rushes, 77 yards. And that will be the first down. But we are first and goal from the end zone. And we were going to... I thought he had possession of the ball. Turns out he didn't. He's mainly a defensive. No, jeez, this is going to be a long season. If I want at least Roquan Smith to get at least 1 touchdown, you know what? I'm going to sub out Jimmy Graham. I like to use some defensive players regardless. So Trevathan, we know, is a defensive player on this team. I like to use the linebackers. I just want to give them. And that's also an incomplete pass. And it's 4th and goal. What are we going to do? I guess we're going to have to do our famous plays here. Fake field goal for at least a touchdown, and it was Nick Foles, the Super Bowl 52 MVP there, and he passed it off to Davis. No, I'll search up what his name is. So it is now it will now be 37-7 here in Chicago. All right, now the Vikings just scored a field goal here, and it's now 37-10 here in Chicago as we see Cordell Patterson for the 3rd time. I think the first one was at the beginning of the game. So it's 1st and 10 now from the 25 as we see Mitch Trubisky step onto the field here again now. Cohen is just going to run this out he will get stopped at the 48. 119 yards there, and they allowed 140 passing yards. This is very interesting for me to see. This Bears offense, well, and their defense, and Roquan Smith, he's really a linebacker, but he just slides on in, touchdown, 48 yards there that time, and we'll try a 2-point conversion. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least we're winning here in this great matchup. So, you know what? I'm just going to use goal line. I'm going to use the HB drive. It's now 43-10 here in Chicago, and he makes it in for 2 points, and that will be good. David Montgomery there. And we're going to take a break, and we will see you guys when we are on defense, when we're back on offense. All right, this is the end here of the game. The Chicago Bears will be your winners for episode 1 of season 2. And they win it here at home in the 3-1-2 and the 7-7-3 in America's windiest city, where MJ used to play NBA basketball for the Chicago Bulls in the United Center. So now the Bears win it 45-10 in the largest city in the state of Illinois. So it's 45-10 here in Chicago, looking over Lake Michigan, Soldier Field. Them congratulating each other after a nice win. Mainly the offensive unit. The Bears' defensive unit was pretty good too. I mean, they got three turnovers, this Vikings team. And we will see you guys at statistics. Okay, everybody. So, as you guys saw here, we won 45-10. Bears win it. The Chicago Bears had a total offense of 397. Minnesota had 185. Minnesota had 81 rushing yards. We got 209. Passing yards wise, the Vikings had 104. We had 188. 14 first downs. This was pretty competitive here. So both teams did manage to do well on first downs. There were no punt return yards. Kickoff return yards, 122. We had 492 yards. Minnesota had 307. And they had 3 turnovers in this game where we were 1 for 1 in 2-point conversion. So red zone wise, we were 4 for 5, 80%. Touchdowns, we had 4. Minnesota had 1 in red zone. Red zone field goal. No penalties there. All right, now Mitch Trubisky had a passer rating of 43.6 with 9 out of 15 with 4 touchdowns there. Kirk Cousins had a 58.8 passer rating with 10 out of 15. 66 of it was completed. And no touchdowns there, but he did get an interception. Nick Foles scored his only touchdown with that pass. That was faked. A field goal with a 139.6 passer rating. Dalvin Cook had the most carries out of any team. So he had 11 carries, 72 yards, and 1 touchdown, 1 fumble, but he had 9 broken tackles. Tariq Cohen had 6 broken tackles in this game with 1 touchdown, 10 attempts, 119 yards. By the way, this was Minnesota's only touchdown, so just keep that in mind. Receiving-wise, Allen Robinson had 4 receptions, 68 yards, and 2 touchdowns there. Justin Jefferson had 3 receptions, 29 yards, and no touchdowns. Ted Ginn Jr. had 3 receptions, 50 yards, and 1 touchdown. Adam Thielen had 2 receptions, 19 yards, and no touchdowns. Bobby Macy had 1 reception, 8 yards, and a TD. Roquan Smith had 1 reception, 48 yards, and a touchdown here. Defensively, Shamar Stephen and Khalil Mack both had sacks in this game. Tashawn Gibson Sr. had an INT. Fumble recoveries, Roquan Smith had 1. And safety, I'm going to give credit to either Khalil Mack or Eddie Goldman because, well, technically, Kirk Cousins was out of bounds in his own end zone for a 2-point safety. So that wraps it up here in Chicago. What a great way to start season 2 here. And we will see you guys in the next episode. It will be Dallas versus Washington. Peace out. Have a great Tuesday.